seconds, all right? Good evening, everybody. Surprise stream here on a, is it a Monday?
It is a Monday.
Wow, it's a Monday. Hi, everybody. Big, shocking news. It's kind of funny. Kristen and I, so we were with all of you yesterday, live streaming over at EPCOT.
Pretty late.
And you know who it was who broke the news to me?
Who?
It was our mod, April.
Oh, well, my brother sent us a message.
Dan. Yeah, and Dan. She sent us a message after we had, stopped the stream. Oh my gosh, had we known, we would have kept going to talk about it for sure. Had we known,
we
right?
went late, and because the EPCOT fireworks finish about 9:20, and then we walked out for a good another 15 minutes, I would say, and we had just gotten to the car, and we weren't looking at our messages, and we had just gotten to the car, put stuff in, and I saw messages in my texts. I saw some chatter on some of the private messages that we have as well. And by the time we got home, like, the direct messages just blew up.
So Bob Chapek is no longer the CEO of the Walt Disney Company. Can you believe that? I mean, we've been talking about this for a long time. So last week, that Mad Money guy, the guy who's always like doing the stock and like the
I think
company.
he's on CNN.
Yeah, I can't. Kramer, I think. He was like, get rid of him, needs to go. After the quarterly reports came out, they said the only thing that Disney could do was get rid of their CEO. And I said, there's no way they're going to do that. It's funny because Kristen kept telling me like week after week, Adam, Disney stock is like the lowest it's ever been.
I've been telling him
stock. We need to buy Disney stock.
I'm ready. I'm going to buy some Disney stock because I dabble a little bit in the stock market occasionally. And I was like, we're Disney fans.
She makes money, I spend it on equipment like cameras and lights and stuff.
And so I said, Adam, this is the lowest it's been in a long time. And although there's a lot of things going on in the stock market, Disney stock is very low. So I told him to buy. We should have.
We didn't.
We did not.
We didn't. There was no insider trading of any kind. We didn't buy any.
No.
No Disney stock. So the happy news here, everybody, is that Bob Iger returning. I've been watching the social media platforms all day. This has never happened before.
Well, what is
crazy
about this situation is I had no idea, and nobody did either, that the Walt Disney Company...
Linda says goodbye to the Bob. Yeah. Welcome to the new Bob. What about Bob?
Right. And so I have never, it's been very rare, unless somebody has done something extremely egregious or unacceptable, that they have made such a crazy change just in general business and large companies. You don't normally see these types of press notices on a Sunday night. Now, it was about 10 p.m. Eastern, but I know that in California, that was Pacific time. Even still, a Sunday night like that was just so odd.
Kara Carter says, hi, so surprised with the news. What do you think changes will be? And I think that is the huge question. I think tonight, I'm not by any means skilled or knowledge at how to run a Fortune 1000 company or whatever Disney is, but I think what we really wanted to talk about tonight are what we think some of the changes specifically more in Walt Disney World and in the parks will be. Generally about Disney, it's hard to say, but you know what's really funny is Kristen and I were talking about, you know what Bob Chapek's job was before he was CEO? She just told me that he was in charge of parks. He was Josh D'Amaro.
Yeah.
So you would think when he took over that the parks would be his foremost concern and that he would make really good decisions about the parks. That just didn't happen.
Yeah, so let's back this up before we get into the things that we think are going to change, or some opportunities that they have. I think first we should talk about, so we talked about what happened. This all was announced last night. Disney put out their formal statement. In the last 24 hours, less than 24 hours, they have sent an email to cast members, which was great. I can read that. Do you want me to read that? I think you should
read it, yeah.
They've updated their website. So it was like that. And everybody is reporting that the board contacted Bob Iger only on Friday. So this is a very quick, swift move on behalf of the Walt Disney Company to remove him and almost immediately put in Bob Iger, which they stated in their statement. You can even go to the WaltDisneyCompany.com, and it has the entire statement that they issued on behalf of Mr. Chapek no longer being with the company. So that is very, very interesting. You can check that out. That is it's a lengthy statement that they have there. But as far as cast, this is again a pretty lengthy message that I'm going to put out for you guys. So it says, this is the letter from Bob Iger this morning to cast members. Dear fellow employees and cast members, it is with an incredible sense of gratitude and humility, and I must admit a bit of amazement, that I write to you this evening with the news that I'm returning to the Walt Disney Company as the Chief Executive Officer. When I look at the creative success of our teams across our studios, Disney General Entertainment, ESPN, and International, the rapid growth of our streaming services, and the phenomenal reimagining and rebound of our parks, the continued great work of ABC News, and so many other achievements across our businesses, I'm in awe of your accomplishments, and I'm excited to embark with you on many new endeavors. I know this company is asked, this is a key paragraph. This is a key paragraph that I thought was really interesting and slightly, to me, I think it's a little bit of a dig to Bob Chapek, of course, because we'll talk about this in a second, how cast members' roles have really changed since Bob Chapek was in his CEO role. So here's the paragraph. I know this company has asked so much of you during the past 3 years. And these times certainly remain quite challenging. But as you have heard me say before, I'm an optimist. And if I learned one thing from my years at Disney, it is that even in the face of uncertainty, perhaps in the face of uncertainty, our employees and cast members achieve the impossible.
Sorry. Harper is literally trying to pull the video cable out
right.
of our stream.
Here.
It's just another challenge for live streaming at home. It's fun. It's like golfing with a handicap.
Right. So there is some additional, there's additional paragraph here. You'll be hearing more from me and your leaders tomorrow and the weeks ahead. In the meantime, allow me to express my deep gratitude for all that you do. Disney holds a special place in the hearts of people around the globe thanks to you and your dedication to this company and its mission to bring joy to people through great storytelling is an inspiration to me every single day. I think that's really important because from our friends and our family who are cast members, and even just knowing people who are there, I feel like the general consensus is they're tired. I feel like things are very different than they were 3, 5, 7 years ago. And what I think this gives those cast members some hope, like that they have really altered the roles. And for me, Adam, don't you believe that when it all starts at the top?
Oh yeah.
And when that leader makes statements that I just feel are a little sketchy for a CEO, like brash.
Well, you know where the biggest pitfalls came from? Were from Disney Plus. Right. I think that right now, considering that as an entertainment company, Disney decided, I don't know who decided, not to do theatrical releases anymore, but most of their new theatrical releases happened on Disney Plus, and Disney Plus was taking a hit. So in the pocketbook of an entertainment company that makes its money with movies and entertainment, Disney Plus was essentially tanking. And that is, I think, where the key decisions were made here. I don't think it had much to do with the parks. I wish that it had a lot to do with the parks, but I think as an entertainment company in a whole, I think the decision to get rid of Chapek had everything to do with Disney Plus and the shortcomings as an entertainment company that makes movies, entertainment, media, things that kids watch on TV. Right?
Because although Adam and I, the primary thing that we focus on is parks, Disney is much larger than that.
Yeah.
They have a entertainment business, which is, we'll just call it movies, and anything from their purchases into Fox, they bring in Lucasfilms. That was a long time ago. That was before Chapek, but I'm just giving you an example. All of those ventures that make them into that production company more than just the parks.
Well, let's think of some of the other things that have happened in the short. Basically, it's funny, it's been 33 months. It's only been like Club 33. 33 months that Chapek has been, been CEO. And they even had Bob Iger on for like a year to help him transition. Let's think about some of the things that happened. So they had, some of the don't say gay stuff that happened with him that really, really, really struck a chord in a negative way with a lot of people.
I think there's a way to address the politicalness that Disney got themselves into, and that's where he really put his foot in his mouth, and he was not the eloquent face that Bob Iger,
that Disney and that
and that they are used to, and Michael Eisner.
Eisner was great.
When the media comes at you with these very political situations, and how are you going to manage them and handle them? And that's where I'm talking about, like how he handled himself during some of those very high tense moments was not indicative of
a CEO
a CEO of Disney. You kind of have the CEO of Disney on a different higher level than, let's say, I don't know, Macy's. Okay, right? Because you think of Disney as like the top guest service, right? So you think
everybody's calling for Paul. They want Paul, our cast member friend.
Well, mind you, if he is working tonight, it's only 8 o'clock.
Yeah.
And Animal Kingdom closes at 8 tonight. Yeah. Oh, I think they might close at 9 because it's Thanksgiving. He might be working.
So some of the other things we think of, and something that's huge, is that Bob Chapek was in the process of moving most of Disney's corporate cogs and components to Lake Nona, which is a development here in Orlando, Florida, out of LA, and here. And they were moving all of the Imagineering for WDI here to Lake Nona. They hated that idea.
And that's Imagineering.
And Imagineering. And there was this mass exodus of all these amazing Imagineers that created attractions that you love and that I love, that are no longer with the company anymore because simply they didn't want to have to move to the East Coast. They didn't want to have to go to Lake Nona.
But
this big giant complex here that's just over by the airport in Orlando that is still currently being built very fast.
Well, it was also known that the way that he treated many of those Imagineers who had been there for such a long time, it was made publicly known that there were many Imagineers that were well respected over years and years and long careers at the Walt Disney Company that, in my opinion, and from what I've read and understand, were pushed out. And so I feel like he stifled, I think that's the good word for it, he stifled the company from being what it needs to be. And so,
I mean, everything from getting booed at D23 to being afraid to show his face in the parks because he didn't want to get booed, to not showing up at the D23 convention. Kristen, we should get to some of our...
people are talking about Genie Plus. We can talk about Genie Plus. I will tell you,
Do you
I'm
think there
gonna
was
give
a
you
correlation? Was there a correlation that Bob Iger took over and Genie Plus is the highest price that it's ever been in history today?
No.
Yeah, I don't think so either.
It's a holiday week. Disney had preemptively made the statement back in August and September that, get ready, you are no longer going to have the $15 per day for Genie Plus. It's going to be flex pricing based upon demand. And they said it wouldn't go above 22 in the month of October, but they gave no promises as to how high it would go. I have not seen we promise there's a cap and we won't put it above this. That is untrue. In fact, I believe, much to our disappointment, that Genie Plus is here to stay.
And it's going to get even more expensive.
And it's going to get even more expensive.
Yeah, see, Running Dad YYC said, I think Chapek didn't know how to fix Disney Plus, and that's why we're having problems with this. That's so true. Let's see. Jacqueline says, I'm not a fan of Bob.
Yeah.
Bob just carried out Bob's plan. Should have gotten someone new. Yeah. And I think that's what a lot of people... it's funny. Sorry, we've got a little harp here. What's kind of interesting is that, everybody, even how, no matter how bad you are, somebody likes you and somebody is in your corner. I have not seen one person say that Bob Chapek did something good for the Disney company, did something good for the Disney parks. Now, I'm going to be devil's advocate on that, Kristen, and say that during the pandemic, Chapek did open the parks.
Right.
And did institute the park pass reservation system, which a lot of people scorned at, but it did make opening the parks during the pandemic possible, and they did push that forward to be able to get things moving again and to get cast members working again and to get things happening in the economy here in Central Florida and on the West Coast. So, being devil's advocate, I have not heard much good about Chapek, but I will say that, during that time period, he did what needed to be done.
Diane says, if you had your choice, would you prefer Michael Eisner or Bob Iger?
Eisner.
100%
Eisner. And, everybody's been asking, what do we think's going to happen in the parks? Are there going to be some decisions made? I don't think so. I don't think we're going to see anything blaring very soon. No.
Park changes. I know, here are the things that I know that the guests want. They want dining plans.
Disney dining, that's number one. Yeah, they want Disney dining.
I can't promise that will come back. You know what I will tell you absolutely will not happen? I know everybody's screaming lower prices and discounts. I'm sorry, I'm just going to have to put it out there. They're not going to discount anything.
No, if anything, prices are going to continue to raise, I think. You know what Disney's doing, everybody? I know that everybody goes, oh man, and me especially. Why do you have to pay for parking? Why do you now almost have to pay even more than a park admission just to get your family on the rides? Disney's trying to find the glass ceiling. Their parks are so full that they cannot manage the parks. Like Magic Kingdom especially is so full and demand. They even said it when they raised their price. They said demand for our premier park, Magic Kingdom, is so high that we have to raise prices to limit demand.
Yeah.
They cannot squeeze any more people in there, and they unfortunately don't have the cast member force.
Do I think that's okay though?
No, I don't think it's okay. No.
I don't think it's okay.
No.
I don't think that a company should live off of glass ceiling.
Steffi has a really good one. Do you think that there is more of a story other than what's being told right now? Yes. There has to be.
So that kind of goes with my initial statement of it being rather shocking that this was made a decision over a weekend.
Yeah.
Like, it's just because sources have confirmed in news media that Bob Iger was only contacted and discussed with this by the board on Friday. So I think that there are things that just pulled the trigger that we may not be privy to.
Yeah, poor Donna Keegan says, I don't think I'll be able to afford to go. I miss how it was years ago. I am so with you. I mean, the prices have skyrocketed to the point where Disney is now almost only for the super elite, and that's just so sad.
Right.
Yeah.
So also, I'm getting a lot of questions here about, I know Paul's not on, a couple of questions have said, what does my mom think? So I will give you this. I haven't talked to my mom today. She did see the notice last night. Ironically, she had the night off last night, so she was not working Magic Kingdom last night. She does go back to work on Wednesday and then on the weekend, of course. But I will tell you, she herself has said there is a big difference, and she has been very frustrated with how things have changed. And that's how I was talking about, like, the management just starts at the top and moves down. So if the middle managers are seeing the person at the top act like this and treat people like that, then they have a certain way. And I don't want to speak negatively about everybody, because not everybody's, the same. But there are key differences that I have heard from many different cast members in how, they are treated and respected, and kind of the regime that was in at that time. So I'm hoping that there's some opportunity that the cast members are, made to feel more valued than they are today.
Kimberly has something good to say here. Kimberly said, oh my gosh, like it just went away here. Kimberly said, I think there will be several changes within the company. I don't think anything in the parks are going to change, but I think they will a few things that will be able to balance. They need to bring back more cast members. Mm-hmm. I think that's really, really a good statement. Yeah, I think you're right. They need to find a way to make cast members want to come back.
Right.
And to get that workforce back again. Here is my opinion on the parks. I think whatever shortcomings are kind of happening in the parks right now are not from top level management, but are from local management.
Right.
In my opinion. But that's just my humble opinion.
The little things that you see every day.
Those are the things that are controlled locally.
Locally, like this restaurant, this
touches.
gift shop is not open during certain hours. The things that make it just slightly, I would call it frustrating.
Like Walt said, the little extras, the little pluses. If those little pluses aren't around, it's more because of the local management is trying to cost save. But I mean, that stuff rolls down. It comes from the top and it does roll down. So, that's how that happens too. Kristen, what do you think? Do you think this is going to be a good decision? Do you think that we're going to see, like you personally, do you think this is good? This is a good thing for I'm talking parks. Do you think this is good for the parks, or do you think that this is going to be just another bump in the road, or just going to stay the same? What do you think?
You know what? I will tell you my opinion. I will leave the entertainment side out of it, because that is, I think, a big deal in this whole situation. The movies and entertainment aspect. As far as the parks are concerned, let's put it this way. It is a big ship, and it takes time to
turn it around.
Turn the ship.
Yeah.
So the things that we're frustrated about the parks, the prices, I'm unfortunately going to tell you, I don't think are going to change. But the details, we have heard time and time again that people are okay with understanding that times are different and prices have gone up across the board in every aspect of your life. The grocery store, bills, gas, just generally. People are accepting of Disney having to accommodate that, just like every other company. Where it has become unacceptable is when they have tanked service levels in certain areas, and they have blamed the pandemic in that. And they take things away and take it away and take it away. They are slowly moving towards more cast members. They are slowly moving towards bringing back things that you love, like stage shows, Fantasmic.
Character meet and greets.
Mm-hmm. Parties.
Oh, Harper.
After hours events. And so they are slowly moving towards that. So as far as the parks are concerned, are you going to see immediate changes? No. But what you have to remember too is Bob Iger was in his role for almost 15 years.
He knew what he was doing.
So he might know what he's doing, Adam, but he also set things into play that are there today that you don't like.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's
okay.
True. Yeah.
So I come with kind of an open mind. I think that he has a much better mentality to run things in a positive direction. Bob Chapek was not there. He was not interested in things like that. Whereas the details and the little things, that's where Bob Iger excels.
Jennifer Supko says, I 100% believe things will change in all aspects of Disney with this change. Pricing, no. Inflation in the world is general is hurting the regular consumer.
Right.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think that we will see changes. I think it will just take some time in the parks capacity. They are making some quick changes in and implementing organizational changes.
This is where my heart hurts. Krista King Tai says, same here. I'm 43 years old and still have never been able to go to Disney World. We are a family of 5, so that is a factor. But it's just too expensive right now. And my heart hurts for her because I understand that.
Yeah, so is the comment ahead there that she replied to somebody else who said that.
Yeah.
Do you think that they will still lay off cast members? I don't know. I think that maybe he's taking an opportunity to look at where the company is at this moment. I don't think he ever truly left. Somebody who's that invested, who has had a lifetime career with this company that he loves.
Well, he stayed on it as an advisor.
He only left in 2021. So he's only been completely gone for 1 year.
Yeah.
And so immediately today, they've already released the chairperson of Disney Media and Entertainment Division. That's why that's key. So Josh D'Amaro, who's in charge of Parks and Resorts, he's still there. I think that he has potential. But I think the majority of it, as we mentioned earlier, it has to do with, again, the releasing of today, Kareem Daniel, the chairperson of Disney Media and Entertainment Division. You know, he was key to Bob Chapek as well. And I think that's where they're gonna focus on the most. But the parks, they will do better on. I believe that there is positive changes coming in the parks.
Guys, I want to hear in the comments, what do you think Bob Iger, the other Bob, the new Bob, what does Bob Iger need to do to change things around? Like, in your eyes, we're talking about just the parks here because that's kind of what we care about the most. What does Bob Iger need to do to change things around? I think, in my personal opinion, he needs to come in like the Dark Knight of Michael Eisner and put his baseball cap on and open a new theme park.
Right.
Because what was the comment we heard one of our friends say yesterday on Facebook? Said, in the time that Bob Iger, or I'm sorry, in the same time that Bob Chapek was CEO, he didn't open any rides. In that same amount of time, Universal is building a brand new theme park.
Right.
You know?
Right.
And basically, Bob Chapek couldn't even open up one new ride. So, craziness. Crazy.
So I'm taking a look at YouTube as well. Scott says, bring back the annual pass and the dining plan. Maintenance of current rides. I agree. Maintenance is a big deal. Adam and I, for some of the rides that we go on pretty frequently, they need attention. What was I pointing out the other day Blizzard Beach. Okay. So I'm just going to say it.
We're at Blizzard
because
Beach,
on the stream, I did not mention it. But I was also not able to be on the Blizzard Beach live stream as much because I was taking care of Harper a little bit, and it was rainy.
It was raining, yeah.
I was a little surprised. I felt like there was not enough refurbishment at Blizzard Beach that I expected to have happen. Mm-hmm. There's little details like in the landscaping and just painting
for a park that was closed as long as it was closed.
I was pointing out things to Adam and I said, I'm really kind of surprised. Now, is the Blizzard Beach Park in poor repair? No.
No, not at all.
But it's little things. Can you help her with this?
Here. Here you go, Harp. Do you want some of these?
Her Cheetos. It's that kind of thing that I think would be good. You know, we pick out, when you go on certain rides, you can say, oh, that's not quite working. Oh, that could use a little. It's those little touches that I think
Andrew Francis says, get rid of the reservations and bring back Fast Pass Plus. Yep, sounds good to me.
Sure. I think that sounds good.
You know, something else we were talking about, you know, people are, you know, poo-pooing Universal a little bit too, saying, well, you know, Express Pass at Universal is still more expensive.
$150.
It's still very expensive, but what you get at Universal
it's apples and oranges.
So much more.
It's apples and oranges completely. I will tell you, we are avid at Universal. We'll be doing much more with Universal and incorporating them into our theme park content in 2023 in the new year. But like, we know Universal. We got married there. We're there all the time. The express passes at Universal are completely different. You show up, you pay one price, and it is most definitely a short line.
Jennifer says bring back 2019.
Yes.
Yeah, that sounds good. Do that.
The express pass, you pay that expensive price, but you do completely skip the line very easily. You don't have to manage. You're guaranteed pretty much to get on whatever ride you want during the day. You don't have to make a reservation.
Oh, geez.
And
Harper. Oh gosh.
It's okay.
Yep.
Here, she's fine.
I know. Just Dexter's eating all of them now.
You don't have to make a reservation, get up at 7 a.m. and hope that you get your lightning lane, even though you paid your $29. Your $29 does not guarantee that you will go on Remy's Ratatouille adventure.
No, it
at
doesn't.
Epcot.
Just that you get a chance to try.
That you can try. So
remember
that
last
is the
night on the stream, she spilled this whole entire baby little crunchies on the ground at Epcot. Well, she just dumped out the whole entire can, and Dexter just ate it.
Yeah. Oh, there's a lot in there.
Remind me not to
this is a great
give dinner
comment.
to the dog tonight.
That is a great comment here.
Okay.
They need people to answer phones.
You're right. Yeah.
People to answer
Deb
phones.
Says people to answer phones.
And
Reservations
they're not helpful.
Yeah.
You know, I don't call in that often, so I can't speak too much to that.
But we are in a
we do know that if I call, it's hours wait.
We're in a unique situation where we're so close that we will call in and wait for so long that we'll just say, we're just going in. We'll just we'll wait in line at the guest relations just because it's so much easier. Right. They need more people on the phones.
Right.
Yeah, it's impossible to get a hold of them.
And so, let's see here. Nora said, make it so the adults don't have to be tied to their cell phone. Here, can you give her this?
Hi. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, Kathy says, opportunities are missed in maintenance, getting rides done when the park reopens.
Yeah, Jacqueline here on YouTube says, I hope they work on keeping rides moving, clean things up, build more rides instead of changing existing, and whatever they can do to stay out of politics. I agree with that. We were just at Epcot, and we were walking around Epcot and looking at what they're building, and this whole new section of Epcot they're building, it's not new rides, it's more places to spend money. You know?
Right.
Which to me is kind of sad. That whole area is going to be like a festival area where you can buy more food, spend more money, right?
Right.
So, which is great. A lot of people like Epcot as a festival area, but I would love to see that money being invested in attractions, things that made Epcot great to begin with, right?
Yeah, I agree.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Maintenance on carousel progress. Yeah. Yeah, true. Oh gosh.
They need people to sell magic keys, says Felix the Master. Yeah. They sold magic keys for what, another day? How long did it Magic Key in Disneyland last? The sales were like 2 days or something, and then they suspended
I'll say less
again.
than 2 days.
Yeah, they suspended
I
it
thought
again.
I was in the line queue. I will say I was probably not going to buy a Magic Key, but I did get in the line queue to kind of understand like how long waits were.
Yeah.
And I let it kind of hang out there while I was just working. And I let it go over 2 hours. And after that, I just turned it off. But there's the Disneyland is a whole other thing. I think there's opportunities for Disneyland and California Adventure as well. Since we were just out there in June, I think that they've got some stuff to do out there for sure.
Bob K says, well said, Kristen. He agrees with you. Sam Broadway says, bring back the annual pass and the dining plan, maintenance of current rides, and listen to the cast members and guests, and hire back the cast members that were fired, over the pandemic. That's, yep. Totally agree.
Yeah, I think really, other than the statements that were made in the last 24 hours of they're already implementing organizational changes. And that's where things start. They have to start with that.
I would have loved to have been a fly on that wall when who was the board of directors that had to show up at Chapek's house? I'm sure they did it at his house, right?
Yeah.
Like, it's not like they called
You don't
him
make
on
a
the
phone call like that.
No, like, I'm sure they, hey,
they
Bob,
said, we're going to meet you.
We're meeting you. Like, what did they say to him? Like, how do you say, and they just re-upped him for, was it 3 years?
Yeah.
$50 million or something?
Yeah.
If I was him, I'd be like, oh, you mean I don't have to work, but I still get $50 million? Okay.
I think that there was probably some, I don't know.
Oh my gosh.
I have no idea what that all
But yeah,
entails.
I would have loved to have been a fly on that wall to see what his reaction was. If I was a smart person, who I would have had told him? Bob Iger. Right? They're friends. They're buddies.
No, they are not.
They had to have been.
They are not.
I would have.
Have you seen some of the statements he's made in the last 8 months on social media?
I would have had Bob Iger do it for sure.
He publicly made it known.
Melissa says Disney needs to go back to spontaneous.
Here it is.
I agree. The reservation system makes it totally non-spontaneous. The way that the park has implemented Genie Plus takes the spontaneity out of going to the park and riding rides and going, oh my gosh, we were just here for an hour, but oh my gosh, the wait for Mine Train was so low, we just went and rode it and we had just this fun, spontaneous night. That doesn't happen anymore. It doesn't happen anymore where you get a dining reservation out of the blue. It doesn't happen anymore that they give you those special extras. Like, what Disney used to have? Something called no strings attached, where if you dropped your ice cream cone accidentally or your entire bottle of Cheetos or whatever, that they'd come by and say, here you go, we're going to replace that. We want you to be happy. Those things just don't happen anymore. That was a Disney staple that it just seems like.
That is very interesting, Kathy. That makes a lot of sense. She said that she read or heard somewhere that Bob Chapek was in California to introduce Elton John for his live stream on Disney Plus. It was his last concert.
That was on Disney
and
Plus.
then he never made it to the concert. That makes a lot of sense. I would not be surprised, actually, because that was a big event.
Yeah.
I had known that we were live streaming up against Elton John last night.
Man, wow. So, some of you all chose us over Elton John. That's pretty cool.
I know. I want to go back and watch it.
Caleb over on YouTube says, we noticed just from watching live streams that cast members never seem to be happy lately. Hopefully that will change.
I will say...
I can't say I haven't noticed that too.
I see...
But not in all cases.
How can I say this?
Not in all cases.
How can I say this? It's not everybody. And it's not that they're unhappy with everything. They love their job, okay? Many of them really do enjoy what they do. There's just, I think some of it is being overworked. I think some of them are asked to do more than necessary, while others are given cards to, whatever. I mean, that's in all jobs, but I think Disney has an opportunity. The Disney cast members are in a union as well. I think that it would bode them well to talk to them, because they've been quibbling over dollars for a long time. That would help things.
Now I know why Bob Kay and I get along so well. He said, what would make it better? Add another country to EPCOT. Couldn't agree more, Bob.
Yeah.
But what country would it be?
What country would you add?
People are begging for Australia. Australia would be a good one.
That would be a fun one. Mm-hmm. I think there's some cool things that you could do with that. Or like Brazil.
Brazil would be great.
I think they could do some super fun stuff by incorporating Canto.
Oh, goodness.
Uh-oh. Did you not like this?
Oh, she's had enough.
Oh. Oh, my.
Oh, no.
You okay?
Are you all right?
Do you want your Olaf?
I'll make this better.
The other thing too with cast members, I think.
Welcome our newest addition to this.
Oh yeah, yeah. I think the other thing too is that the people who have visited Disney, we have seen some, I would just say, misbehavior.
Yeah.
And so you can't always judge the cast members based upon that, because I know if I had to deal with some of the things that we've seen that we do not put on camera. We've been on rides before where people are blatantly just throwing F-bombs.
Or garbage.
Or garbage.
Yeah, I've noticed a couple of rides where people are throwing their garbage and their trash into the ride. And, that's not acceptable in any sense of the manner. And that's not Disney's fault for people doing that. But I have noticed in the past that Disney's done a better job of sweeping up, those kinds of messes very quickly.
Right.
Like I said, when we were at Food and Wine the other night, I had to step over garbage to walk around the promenade around EPCOT. Like, we were stepping over garbage everywhere, and that is kind of crazy. And you know what I did not see this year at Food and Wine that they normally do? Yeah. They normally set up extra garbage cans everywhere.
That is actually,
all over
now
the place.
That you say
and
that,
those are absent. Those are absent.
Now that you say that, you are right. They used to have
extra trash bins.
And some of them were like kind of disposable.
They were just
they were like
cardboard
the
boxes.
Yeah. They used to have many of them. You're right. You know what? That is one thing I didn't notice, but that is true.
Yeah.
No, you did not, Josephine.
That happens
no,
all
you
the time.
did not.
That happens all the time, Kristen.
Okay, read that so YouTube can hear it too.
Josephine says that when she was at Epcot, she saw someone throw a family member's ashes into the lagoon. Okay, so I can confirm that actually does happen quite a bit. I worked for the Friendship Boats. Like I always say, I worked for the Friendship Boats in the college program. And one of the things that our trainers would tell us is that we needed to look out for that. In training, they were told, that family members often request to have their ashes in the lagoon at Epcot, and that we are supposed to try to make sure that if anybody's sitting in the back of the boat alone, that we need to kind of watch out for that. You know where else it happens a lot? A lot? The Haunted Mansion.
I have heard that.
It happens at the Haunted Mansion a lot, that people will spread ashes there. So they watch out for that too over there. You know what? Can't blame them. Can't say that I do.
That's weird.
It is weird.
They're mentioning like changes in management. You know who I'd like to see changed? I don't know a lot about her, but this extremely rubbed me the wrong way. As arrogant.
Okay.
The new CFO, Christine, and I think her last name is McCarthy.
Okay.
Made the verbal statement in September, or I think it was actually July maybe, that they were talking about how Disney would be increasing dining prices, food prices.
They were talking about waistlines.
And she made this public statement.
Yep.
And it's probably good for our customers' waistlines as well. And reducing the portion size, but increasing the cost because it's better for our customers' waist line.
See, Kathy
I think
here
that's
says,
so arrogant.
It is arrogant.
It really rubbed it. I've kept that.
You don't say that to people.
For such a long time. And I feel like a CEO and somebody who's a CFO to make statements like that, I think is horrendous.
Yes.
Like you can think what you want, but you have a presentation in how you talk and how you interact with making public statements like that. And even I am not in those executive roles, but I would never speak to anybody like that. It rubbed me the wrong way.
Bob K agreed with you. Brazil, new country in Epcot. And Kathy says she remembers hearing about people putting ashes in the Haunted Mansion too. So I'm not alone here. Yeah.
Crazy.
Oh my gosh, I'm behind here. I'm behind.
You are way behind. What are you doing?
Behind. It gets.
Here, you just have to pull it up.
Yeah. Okay.
You're okay.
Yep.
You're good. Yeah, so gosh, we've had a lot of commentary on here, and a lot of people agreeing with hearing that, and I think those are the changes that they need to make, you know, starting with that and saying, here is, I think some people need to be reminded in the Walt Disney Company of their goals and what the company stands for. I think that's period.
Exactly. It was all about customer service, all about the customer experience. And I think that has really been lost.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's been lost. The customer experience has been lost. And that's really, really sad. So I think the one thing that I would like to see out of this, I'm not expecting any major changes like dining plan or cheaper options for Lightning Lane or Fast Pass. I would just like to see the guest experience get better. You're paying a lot of money. You deserve to be treated to that high Disney guest experience level, right? That's what I would love to see more. I would love to see that. I think the word I'm looking for is attention to detail. That Disney was so good at for so long. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what? Josephine makes another good point. She says, I really like Josh Tomorrow. Always seemed so nice when we met him. So that is what Josh Tomorrow has going for him. Is unlike Bob Chapek, who's afraid to get out into the parks and afraid to meet people, Josh Tomorrow is there with a smile on daily to meet people. And that's what makes a huge difference in his perception, right?
Well, right. Because I think it goes a long way with people. I think that's kind of similarly when we live stream. It says a lot when you're willing to just be in the moment and anything is thrown at you and you can dodge a bullet. It's not edited. It's not like this live is not edited. Like no. You'll go watch this next week and like we can't change what we say or redo something we say.
Right.
And Josh Jamaro is out there in an unedited world and just making a presentation. Now, that's not to say what the decisions he's making behind the scene. We don't know that.
We don't know.
We can speculate.
Vicky says Disney was the only company who, oh my gosh, every time I try to read it goes off screen, who still had customer service. Hope that comes back. I must agree with you on all points. Yes, customer service, right?
Right.
That's what they were known for, award-winning customer service, yeah.
Right. So, yeah, I think that's key in what they're doing. And Josh Jamaro can continue to lead the way that he's leading. I think maybe with somebody like Bob Iger, it will continue to make Josh Jamaro guide him in the right direction is what I could hope, because I think he has a future. And at least give him guidance in decision making.
Nessa says, we agree with you, Harper. Kathy Quant says, we thank everyone as we exit and enter rides.
Oh my
custodians, etc. All cast members need to be thanked while you're there as they work hard to give us such a great guest experience. I could not agree more. We try to...
You know what's funny is, that's funny you bring that up. I think it's kind of, and maybe that's just like our Midwestern courtesy or what, but... Okay.
I think our time
You have something to do? You have something to say?
What do you think?
Oh, okay. Harper and I was in the bathroom at Magic Kingdom. After the Christmas party. Okay. And equally, if I see somebody, a cast member in there cleaning the bathrooms, I know those bathrooms are a hot mess.
They're a hot mess sometimes, yes. Yeah. So.
And I talked to the cast member when I was in there changing Harper, and I said thank you. And but yeah, that's something that I just generally do as well. I think you'll hear it on the streams. We almost always, when we're going in or going out, I think you usually hear us saying like thank you. But
yeah, Edwin says, I remember when Disney had employees constantly sweeping the streets, all the parks to keep them clean. They still do. I just think there's now with the parks being so busy, they don't have enough cast members to keep up with it.
Right.
They just can't keep up.
Let's put it this way. It is not that the cast members who are there are not doing their jobs. That is not at all what we're saying, because I think that there is not enough. And they just need more help.
Chris Beyond says, but I thought that people don't care about attractions, but only care about cast experiences. Well, I think I think people care about having good I think it's a balance. I think people care about the attractions that are good, and that they want an experience with cast members who who treat you like you're a guest. They call them guests because you're a guest. Who treat you like a guest, right?
I'm sorry. She's singing. That's what she's doing right now.
She's just gonna probably unscripted. Everybody, this is live. This is live TV right here. What do you think Bob Chapek's doing tonight? Celebrating?
Not looking at social media. I will tell you that.
Do you think he's like in a dark room in his mansion in like wherever he lives in Burbank? Like, do you think he's upset? Do you think? You think he's upset?
I do. I think also for as many people who are hating and saying really negative things about him, I think there's also an opportunity, I think, for every Disney fan to at least understand that this is a person.
Oh my gosh!
Like,
yes.
I think that's something that as I was watching everything
probably
unfold,
worked 100 hours a week for the company and probably put in
I think that while we
had.
can all disagree, I know Adam and I generally in life choose the positive path.
Yeah.
And while I didn't agree with things that he did, I do take a moment to say he is a person like you.
Tracy says Bob and Bob are not friends.
They are not. No.
But no, you're right. He's a person, and he probably put all his heart and soul into this job.
I'm not saying that. Yeah. I think that you need anybody who's angry with him or just some of these scathing things are being said. Choose the positive path. He certainly was not an utterly horrendous person. Like he wasn't on social media making ridiculous statements. Like, I would say there are certainly good things that I'm sure he brought to the company.
Of course,
I think we all can agree that it just wasn't right for them to move forward with him anymore. And I think that's how I'm going to look at it. I don't want to be one of those people who just is angry and just wants to blow up social media with these really scathing statements. So I think that's something to remember. Choose the positive path. Let's be focused on the good that can come
100% yes.
in the future moving forward.
100% yes. 100% yes. I think, I'm happy about what's in store for the future. I think it's great for the parks. You're okay, Harp. I think it's fantastic for the parks. And what I like even more is I love the conversation that our Park Pass holders are having right now. I love reading these comments. I wish I could go. I'm gonna read them all, but I wish we could read them all. But everybody's seeing these, these comments, and just great comments from all of our.
Oh, I can't.
Our
being a CEO is incredibly hard. I will tell you, in my day job, I do interact with executives with global companies, and it doesn't matter which company you work for. When you make the decision to take that on, it is not easy.
No, she's chasing after the dog.
So there is something to be said about anybody who takes the opportunity to give their life every minute, because yes. Oh.
Yeah, Chris says this is a good day for Disney. I agree, Chris. Yep. I definitely agree.
Okay.
You're okay. The doggie was just having fun with you too. Yep, there's
her Olaf.
Thank you, Audrey, for Olaf.
Oh.
If you didn't see the stream last night where we got Olaf over at Norway, you need to go check it out.
Robert, you're so loud.
All
okay.
Right. I think
I'm going to pull this off.
I think we're past our prime. I think we can probably say goodbye to everybody.
Well, Harper, show us Dexter. I'm going to pull this off, okay?
Yeah, go ahead.
Here.
Yep. Where's
There.
Dexter?
He's right behind you.
Oh, okay. He's
Here, we can show you Dexter. He's 12.
He needs a haircut.
He needs a haircut, but because he's probably going to have surgery in the beginning of December, he can't get a haircut quite right now.
Yeah,
but
guy.
say
hi, Dexter. Dexter's
Dexter.
12. He's a good boy.
He is a good boy.
Mm-hmm.
No, let go. Here, do you
Poor
want
Dexter.
this Cheeto?
His little back leg's is still a little bit sore, but for the most part, he's doing good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, buddy.
Yeah. So he's gonna be okay. He'll get some surgery probably the beginning of December.
And then he'll be all set.
Yeah, he'll be much better.
All right, everybody. Well, thank you so much for joining us.
fun.
Oh my gosh, it was a blast reading everybody's thoughts, and I love having discussions like this to talk about. You know, this is probably the biggest change in the Walt Disney World Company in
a long time. This
is the biggest news in the Disney
Company.
Company.
Just shocking.
Very shocking.
Time and day and
yeah,
everything. Yeah,
super shocking and crazy. So I'm glad we got to have the conversation with everybody. I want to remind everybody about our name change. It's funny. I put some sticky comments up on our Facebook, like, hey, this is still us, because, we changed the name, and we got some comments of people saying, oh, I didn't know who this was. I was like, who's Park Pass? And so I put a picture of us up with Park Pass TV, and they're like, oh, it's you guys. So if you're watching us, yes, the name has changed. We're not Adam and Kristen Stream Disney. We're not Wish Upon a Run. We're now Park Pass TV. This is us, though, and it's the same. We're the same people, right? You're the same person, right?
And I thought, we do more lives at home. We throw them in once in a while.
Yeah. Do you like our lives from home?
Yeah, maybe. We'll see.
Yeah, they're fun. I mean, clearly we got a lot going on with the dog and the Harper. She pushed over our monitor. Oh my goodness. Okay. Yeah, it happens.
But tomorrow, what is on the schedule?
It's all about you.
It is scheduled. I will be at Hollywood Studios tomorrow night.
Bob Cakin says, "Can you guys have Harper stay?
PM.
Should we just have Harper stay? We'll take off. Harper can run the show."
Okay.
Yeah, go ahead.
Are you good now?
I'm good now.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll be at Hollywood Studios tomorrow night. Probably start about 7:00, and we're gonna go through all of the holiday treats, the lights, the projections, all of the good stuff that they have for the holidays over at Hollywood Studios tomorrow night.
Can't wait. And Brian Murphy on YouTube says, or Brian Murray says, I came in late. Is this a good thing or a bad thing? It's a good thing.
Oh.
Yeah, it's a good thing.
Yeah.
This is definitely a good thing. All right, everybody, have a wonderful night. Thanks for hanging out with us for a little bit on a Monday. We hope you enjoy the rest of your week. Like Kristen said, she will be live. What time tomorrow?
7.
7. She'll be live over at Hollywood Studios tomorrow at 7. And then, of course, Holiday Week will be live from the Magic Kingdom Thanksgiving morning, which is Thursday. So make sure you mark your calendars for that.
While you're cooking dinner.
While you're having your eggnog. I love eggnog.
on Thanksgiving?
Yeah, that's when you start up the eggnog, is on Thanksgiving. Okay. My family, we always used to watch the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade with a glass of eggnog. That was the first eggnog of the year.
Okay. We'll discuss that Thursday.
I love it. All right, guys, until then, have a wonderful, wonderful evening. And, hey, welcome to...